can't sleep every day when my homie is handing me a $20,000 check and he's bringing home $1 million a month just from one platform. We're just talking about Patreon. Let's be real. Joe makes over $2 million a month. Joe makes over $2 million a month. Let's get to the real numbers now. How much do you really think he makes? Because I promise you, YouTube pays him more than Patreon. I don't care what nobody says. If I make this much, Joe has to be making this much from YouTube. So Joe's making probably 2, 3, 4 million a month. If we add up all the revenue, Prize Picks, YouTube, Patreon, Spotify, Apple Music. Let's talk about Joe. I saw this clip earlier from one of my favorite channels, Elevation, who I believe is the best Joe Budden recap channel. He keeps it real. He's not on there glazing. He's not on there just glazing Joe and glazing everybody. He's actually keeping it real. And guess what? He was actually on Mark's side, not during our debate, but during Mark's debate with Ish and everybody else. He was pretty much bigging Mark up. And then, sure enough, the minute that he decided to notice something about what I said when it comes to Mark, Mark completely turned on him, which I thought was very interesting. I think we went over that last time though, how Mark and Joe are starting to basically bump heads because Mark doesn't like the fact that he's in Joe's channel, so we don't have to rehash that. But the other day, if Zay is in here, I think Trip had to be on that stream when I was streaming with Zay, and I was trying to tell everybody that Joe Budden, maybe he's not getting more on the check than Joe Rogan, but I said what he's doing right now is easily bigger and more important than Joe Rogan. About 6 months ago, I said Joe is making about $1 million a month. I put that number out there. This is like 6 months ago. I'm pretty sure Trip was on that stream. I know Zay was on that stream because that's whose stream we were on. I was like, Zay, first of all, people who are surprised by this must not really be in the business. Because if you're in the business, then you know that they say that you can expect about 10% of a turnover rate, margin of error, obviously plus or minus. So that means some people's turnover rate might be 20 to 30, and some people's turnover rate might be 1 to 2%. But the average is gonna be 10%. When I found that out about a year ago, I just started doing math in my head. I said, okay, well, if the turnover rate is 10%, Joe was anywhere from 1 to 2 million subs when he decided to go to the paywall. So 10% of 1 to 2 million subs is 100 to 200,000. Like I said, about 6 months ago to a year ago, I was like, dude, Joe is making $1 million a month just off Patreon. I had no way of knowing that. I never seen Joe's back office. But I can do math. Me knowing this for a long time, seeing everything that's going on, my initial thought was Joe must be showing this because the subs are down. And he wants people who are advertisers that he hadn't previously looked at to start knocking on his door because he needs the money. I'm just saying, why else would he put this out now? Why would he, out of nowhere, just be like, all right, yeah, fine, here's how much I make? I don't know. I think that this is sort of a dog whistle for advertisements because me as a certified watcher, that's what we are over here. We're the watchers. I watch everything. I was watching Kai and Speed on the way over here. I'm very, very much aware of where the watchers, the people like me, the people like you, I know what we're thinking behind the scenes, and those aren't always the loudest people. So the loudest people will have Joe thinking that adding Mark Lamont Hill to the show is the best thing that he ever done. But is that what the watchers think? The watchers, the people who aren't commenting every time, I don't know. I think that the numbers are probably down, and I haven't seen the show because I'm one of the watchers who's unsubscribed since Mark has been on the show. Well, not since he's been on the show, since he owes me that money. But I'm not subbed anymore because I don't want to see Mark's dumb face. Think about it, that's $10 that they're missing from me. I wouldn't dare say that because I'm not watching, nobody's watching. But if Joe comes out and says the subs are down, then what does that mean? Does that mean that I'm correct? I don't know. Like I haven't seen the show to know if he really said this, but when I was watching this video, I could have sworn that I heard Elevation say that Joe said this on the show.
Patreon is killing it. If that's a low month?
That's what I was guessing. Remember from 6 months ago, I said, okay, if he gets 10%, which is the middle number, I would put Joe on the higher number. So I would say that I would guess he would get 15 to 20, but let's just say it's 10 to be safe. Anywhere between 1 to 2 million subs when he switched over. Do the math. And let me know what you guys think while watching this. Trip said, how long is the mask gonna stay off? Trip, I'm gonna keep my mask off for as long as I can, all right? By the way, shout out Elevation, because he does watch us. Honestly, Danny is trash when it comes to like Joe Budden content. The Elevation is the only one that I see really giving him that real. He's not hating and he's not glazing.
What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. Holy cow. If this leak is real, he posted on his Instagram a picture of the visits to Patreon, and it's over 30 million visits, up 3.4 million. I don't know if this is over the course of a year. I don't know if this is over the course of a month.
Like I said, why would he post this now? If anybody has been watching the show for the past year, Joe has been buying Ferraris and Rolls Royces and Lambos. I mean, he's had the money. Why share it now? I don't.
He had, quote unquote, redacted some of the statements on the picture. But then a leak came out. I don't know if this is a legitimate source. I don't know if this is a legitimate leak. But we're going to go based off of the numbers on this leak. It said Joe has 154,000 subscribers on his Patreon.
Okay, so again, if you guys paid attention in school, 1 + 1 = 2. I'm in the business, so I study the industry. They say industry-wide, 10% is what you can expect. Okay, fine, 10%. Joe is anywhere between 1 and 2 million. How many subscribers does he have on a Patreon? 154. My math is correct. His tiers are 5, 10, and 20. The average is probably gonna be right around the $10. Do the math. How much is Joe making every month from Patreon?
154,000. And over $900,000? Once again, I don't know if this is monthly. I don't know if this is annually. I would assume this is a monthly income. Joe is pulling in $1 million a month on Patreon. Everything I'm saying is alleged. Everything is speculative.
I said, I like Elevation, but it's hilarious to me how he's so surprised. $1 million a month? I'm like, yeah, that's the low number, dog. This is just Patreon. This is not YouTube. This is not Spotify. This is not Apple Music. This is not none of them sponsorships he's getting. He was in the Super Bowl commercial. I brought that up. I was just saying it to the people who were in Zay's Discord at the time. I'm like, I know you guys want to think that Joe is not getting money. Joe is getting straight dough. I guarantee that. The Patreon thing has him buying Lambos and Ferraris every month and flexing it to his own castmates.
I'm just gonna be honest with you, based upon his spending, based upon who he's able to get, based upon how many co-hosts he has,
I'm glad he said that. Another reason why I assumed that Joe's subscribers were down, because he is going OD with the guests right now. Joe is on record saying, I hate guests. I don't want to talk to nobody. I hate all you N-words. I don't want none of y'all on my show. Now everybody's on the show. What's going on, Joe? I think Joe's blowing his load right now. Pause. Because he like, I don't know what's going on with my co-hosts. They're all over the place. The subs is down. He took a big chance on Mark. And I'm not saying that Mark has the subs down. I'm saying that people like me, watchers, real watchers, they don't like that. Mark is a pretentious idiot. Mark is real life moronic, and all of his takes on the show suck. So there are maybe the keyboard warriors are like, oh yes, I love Mark because he represents us. I would think that the large masses of the people don't really like that. And that's why he got kicked off CNN. I'm just saying. If he was that good and had that big of a following, then...
Based upon how many shows he's coming out with, based upon the stature, the co-host he's starting to get, based upon the guests he's receiving, I believe it. I believe this leak. Joe is making $1 million a month on Patreon alone. Now, this is where everything gets interesting. If the co-host, if any of them see this leak, we will have content for days going forward.
He's right, but T, do you legitimately think that the people on the show didn't know?
Yeah, they can do math, first of all. Second of all, I like how he's speculating about this so-called leak. This is a screenshot that was reversed. They just did something to the settings to pop that out. So it's not like the whole next episode was titled based upon the leak. They're dropping, I would call them like Seinfeld-esque skits. They had a bunch of content around it. Whether or not it was planned is, I guess, up for speculation.
Right. Like I said, I'm not going to go as far as to saying that the subs are down. That's something that they were saying. But Joe is not a dumb guy. Ian is not by any means dumb. That's why he corrected himself as well. Yeah, we really don't know if this is the number, but let's be real. This is the number that I've been saying. This is something that I posted on my TikTok maybe 5 months ago. Look.
If I can itch $100,000 a month, I think I can make more than that if I can write whatever I want.
Joe, you talking all this shit. Would you do it?
Would I do what?
If you can generate $1 million a month.
I already do that.
Off of this past shit. Listen, on his own, an extra $1 million.
Hey, that was a good poker face. That was a good poker face. You caught yourself. You caught yourself.
Like, what you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You was about to go. You was about to go.
I tried.
Do what?
If you can generate
Put your glasses on. Put your glasses on, bro.
Yeah,
Put your glasses on, bro.
Because they figure it
Yeah,
out.
they got you in the corner.
It's true.
If you could generate
Anyways, I posted this in March. 325. And I've been saying it longer than that. It's hilarious to me how everybody's like, oh my God, Joe's making $1 million a month. Oh, I'm like, yeah, mother F. How do you guys look at people like Joe? And I agree with Tripp. Joe is not great. He's best in show. He's the best A-Mike on the internet. And even as not great as he is, he's making $1 million a month. Nobody's bigger than the program. All right, if the people have spoken, they've spoken. And the reason why Joe is bigger than Joe Rogan is because Joe don't have to have no specific guest to do it. Even if Joe said, I'm firing everybody and I'm just doing live streaming, how much is he gonna get then? 0? Nope. People are gonna be tuning in. He'll have more than act still if he decided to go live stream today and fire everybody. Anyway.
I think it's all dependent on how much of their audience actually has like jobs and things to do during the day.
Shout out Bobby, somebody else that owe me money. He said Joe mastered Patreon. That's a fact. That's a fact. He mastered Patreon. If the industry is saying and has been saying that if you go from non-paid to subscription, you can expect 10%. That's what you can expect. And if you're at the top of the game, then you could probably expect more than 10%, but you have to have valuable content. Joe is not Joe Rogan. We always want to hear what he has to say about Drake. I'm never gonna not want to hear what Joe has to say about Drake.
It's bad enough that we're speculating on the Prize Picks deal and on the deals that he could get. But why would I chase any deals if I'm making $12 million annually and it's only going up? Now I'm quadrupling down on the reason these guests are coming. And it's gonna be more and more and more.
See, now me and him disagree right here. I don't think the guests are coming because Joe's doing well. Joe's been doing well. That's my point. He's been doing well. He's been happy to keep it no guests all the way up until now. But now that it's starting to get turmoil with Ish and everybody, he's like, I need to bring the guest in. Because no offense to Joe, but Joe is not me. I might sound like Joe every now and then, but Joe can't come on here and just empty his brain and then at the end of that, still have more to say? What happens when he's done talking about music? Then what?
I might drop a month of free quote-unquote Patreons in September and December. I'm trying to get everyone to join the Patreon. Wow. And then if you're part of the co-host, or if you're one of the co-hosts, and y'all don't have any equity in the JBN, and you're making $20,000 to $40,000 a month, shit, I'm going high with it now. Yeah, they could be making $40K a month and still want more if they seen these numbers.
That's a fact. I don't know why anybody would ever speculate that somebody on there was getting paid $5,000 a month. That's crazy. Nobody on there gets paid $5,000 a month. I promise that. But I guarantee you, because Ish and Joe have this exact discussion on the show, where Joe was like, what you guys got going this weekend? Ish is like, I'm working. And Joe's like, what do you mean working? He's like, yeah, I got houses I'm building. Joe's like, you're not still building houses doing real estate? It's like, yes, I am. Because like in Joe's mind, he's like, I'm paying you $40,000 a month. Or let's say 30 or 20. In Joe's mind, it's like, I pay you $40 a month to come and sit down. It's just like, boy, you make $1 million a month. I'm supposed to sit here and just collect a $20,000 a month check and just no. What do you think this is? I'm still doing real estate, homie. Give me that check and I'm still working. That's an actual conversation that happened on the show. I haven't seen anybody post about that. But I was like, dude, this will let you know right there that, yeah, it's just making a lot of money. But that don't matter. If you next to your homie and your homie's making $1 million a month, I would be pitching him a new business every day at $1 million a month. He pulling up with a new car every month. That's crazy. That is some wild shit. I'm just saying.
I'll tell you what, Flip is taking your advice though.
Yep.
He's definitely taking your advice because he started pulling up with the baldy. You ain't never seen the baldy in the last like I don't know how long I've been seeing Flip on the internet. I never seen the top of his scalp until like the last week. And I can only attribute that to Mr. Budden.
He's like, oh, you know what? Let me just go bald like Joe. And shout out Trip. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't be happy for your mans. I'm just saying, how does that not motivate you to get off your? I can't sleep every day when my homie is handing me a $20,000 check and he's bringing home $1 million a month just from one platform. Dog, we're just talking about Patreon. Let's be real. Joe makes over $2 million a month. Joe makes over $2 million a month. Let's get to the real numbers now. How much do you really think he makes? Because I promise you, YouTube pays him more than Patreon. I don't care what nobody says. YouTube pays him, and Elevation talked about this. Elevation is like, bro, YouTube has to pay him more because I know how much I get paid off YouTube. That's what he said. He like, bro, if my videos do this much, I know how to count, okay? If I make this much, Joe has to be making this much from YouTube. So Joe's making probably 2, 3, 4 million a month. If we add up all the revenue, Prize Picks, YouTube, Patreon, Spotify, Apple Music. Yeah, I'm willing to bet that he's pulling in about 4 to 5 mil a month. His overhead is not more than $1 million a month. His overhead is not more than $1 million. It's not more than that. So he can handle everybody's salary under 500K. Think about it, everybody's salary under 500K. I'm bringing in 3 to 4 a month and I'm pulling up in a new Ferrari every week. And I've been saying this. I've been saying this for over a year. It's just funny that everybody's seeing it now. Dude, y'all don't see how sick Joe is getting on the show? Like, oh, you guys are poor. They actually had a discussion on the show one time, like, Joe was like, damn, y'all got that poor shit on? And then they was like, oh, he just saying that because he came in $700 sweats. He was like, $700? Don't you ever disrespect me like that and say I'll come in $700 sweats. This is a real conversation that Joe had on the show. $700, oh, pish posh. I would never wear $700 sweats, dog. $1,500 on the sweats, homie. That's how Joe be talking to him. Anyway, y'all go watch the Patreon, bro. I'm just saying, go watch the Patreon and you'll see the real Joe. That's right, Joe is full on, like, you could tell. The only reason that he wasn't Jay-Z is because he didn't get the chance. If he had the opportunity, Joe would be Jay-Z right now. Trust me.
Man, you got me sick right now. I swear to God, I'm gonna sign up for the Patreon and just start putting that shit on Batty Up.
Right.
Try to get that shit off there. Quarter Labs.
What are you talking about, Joe? We're losing subscribers.
Look.
You just showed the analytics.
So there it is. That's the clip that I wanted. He watches the show still. This is how I get my news. He's like, Joe, what are you talking about? We're losing subscribers. Dog, they're losing subscribers. I'm telling you. I'm the watcher. Everybody in this crowd right now, we are the watchers. We know what's really going on. It's not just the commenteers, although I am the great commenteer, but we are the watchers. We know what's really going on. I'm watching, I'm like, no, the show quality is way down. The show quality is way down since Mark got there, and it's because of me a little bit, but it's not just because of me, because even before that, that's why I had to turn up on Mark, because Mark likes to insert his dumb opinions, be pretentious, and he messes up the vibe of the whole show. The vibe of the whole show is they're friends there. They're not trying to undercut each other and get each other out of a job. Mark is clearly trying to get the other people there out of a job because he knows how much Joe makes. And he knows that if it's just me and Joe, I'll be able to ask for more money. I would put my money on that. That's why they got him out of CNN. Like, why did he get fired from every single job that he had? Why did he get fired? Is it because the people there knew that he was a snake and came together and got him out of there? Because he's doing the exact same thing there that we visibly see him doing on the Joe Budden podcast. We see him attacking everybody. Oh yeah, I'm better than everybody. If you go to CNN and do that, then they're gonna get you out of there probably. If you go to Fox and do that, they're probably gonna get you out of there. I'm just saying, is this his pattern? You don't understand the real meaning of the watcher. We really are the watchers. When I say I have seen everything, I mean I've seen everything. There's nothing that I haven't seen pretty much. And if I haven't seen it, I guarantee you T has seen it. I guarantee it. I have seen every Joe Budden episode from episode 1. Find somebody else who could say that. And twice. When I first got introduced to the show, it was like episode 5 something. I watched 500 episodes all the way down to 1. And then so I could get it in context, I watched episode 1 with Peter Rosenberg and that other chick. That's right, it was Peter Rosenberg and Joe on the first episode. I've seen every single episode. So when I tell you that the quality is going down, I'm telling you the quality has gone down since Mark. Because he's too much of a bully and he doesn't know how to get in where he fits in. His ego is too fragile, so he wants to flex it on everybody all the time. It don't make good content when the content is a soap opera where we are joking on each other, but only to a certain point. He takes it past that point for the people who are friends in the room. I'm just saying.
He will not let you forget that he was part of the ascension.
Like I said, we talked about this on the last episode, but that's why Elevation and him started butting heads. Because all Elevation did was say, listen, I found it weird that Mark is still flexing on how he's carrying the show, and Joe's girlfriend had to say something. Joe's girlfriend was like, excuse you, Mark, excuse you, still the Joe. Okay, so you think Sade is just saying it and her and Joe ain't talking about it, right? All right, anyway.
3,000 eyes had already looked at the Patreon he dropped today. Today, it hasn't been 4 or 5 hours yet. And he had 3,000 plus eyes already on him.
Remember I used to see those clips, T? Remember I used to see those clips on the Patreon, like, bro, his Patreon is lit. Anyway, I'm just saying, it's just funny. We've been talking about this.
Joe doesn't even put anything on the $5 tiers anymore. And so it seems, $10 minimum. I would have to believe most of the subscribers are under the $25 tier. And I know he's getting bread because he just started doing the part of the show tier again, where they ask the questions that people have submitted from the audience that pay $50 a month. He started doing it again. Everything is up. Patreon is up. We just re-up with Prize Picks. People are still looking to become a part of the JVP. I got money to spend, and I haven't had to sign anywhere yet.
And most importantly, Kai is up right now. Kai is up. I know Joe, if he didn't watch anything, he saw what Kai was doing at the BET Awards. And he saw every single person come up to Kai and say, I want to be a part of the next Streaming University. How come you didn't invite me to Streaming University? Young Thug literally said, hey, I'm finna start streaming because of you. Young Thug came up to Kai and told Kai that with his face covered. Young Thug's face was covered in gold. And he said, hey, you know I'm gonna start streaming because of you, right? You don't think that Joe sees that? You don't think that Joe is like, oh my God, Kai is turning the tide. That has to be part of it.
If Flip gets a hold of this chart, he's gonna go bananas. Because I've seen Flip upgrading his Patreon constantly. Shout out to Flip. I haven't been speaking on it, but he's constantly trying to re-up.
I think that this is why Flip started going bananas. He literally said, no, I'm not doing no more behind the scenes. You will not feel me behind the scenes. I'm not doing this. I'm gonna do my work and I'm gonna leave. He's like, oh, Joe is making what? He's like, all right, I need a raise now. I know he said that. I need a raise now. And they said no. He said, okay, all right, fine. What do I have to do with my contract? It's not in my contract to do behind the scenes? No behind the scenes till I get a raise. I know for a fact that's what happened. I never said it because I don't care that much. But I'm watching it. I'm like, yeah. Flip, like me, can do math. He has his own Patreon. Joe probably just outright showed him.
Oh, let it slip that he told Flip the actual number that he's getting. This is a Patreon leak. Guys, if you're not already creating content, I advise you, get in this lane. I'm seeing too many numbers from too many people. DDG said he made $12 million during the month of Streamer University. I believe it. Agent said
These
off
are
of
little
one TikTok channel.
These are like the drops that trickle out of the bigger buckets. I mean, people don't really understand the upper echelon of these streamers and the potential to make tens of thousands of dollars an hour.
Kai and Speed in a month. This is Kai and Speed numbers in a month. Joe's not doing that. I was watching Kai and Speed earlier just play Mario. And they consistently had, and by the way, Trip, this is the longest amount that I've ever watched Speed. I see what you're talking about with the fruity stuff. I was on the phone with my brother and we were talking about this. The very first thing that he said when I brought up Speed, he's like, oh, you mean the fruity dude? I was like, apparently, yeah. I seen what you was talking about.
He made over $300,000. I believe it. And you don't have to pay $1 for this. And I just started seeing what Twitch is offering. I literally just downloaded Twitch. Like the other day, Castanet said he was going to interview LeBron. I was looking at the numbers of the live viewers, and of course Castanet's one of the top dogs. But I was looking at the numbers. It went from 200,000 to 300,000 to 400,000 live viewers. And then I was looking up T Grizzly because he got the RP on Smash.
T Grizzly's been silently killing.
T Grizzly has been eating.
I'm glad this got brought up because I saw a post earlier today where this little girl, she was this little Asian girl, she had made over $20 million in Fortnite just creating maps alone.
Not a streamer.
Random.
Okay.
No,
okay.
She's not a streamer. She's just a map creator that makes. And then you go to T Grizzly, he's got his own private RP.
Exactly.
GTA. I would call it a server, but it's like a universe. And he's just been silently sitting in the background eating.
I have to give T Grizzly the utmost respect and utmost credit because we are the true watchers, okay? I see everything. T Grizzly put Aiden Ross on. I bet a lot of people don't know that. But T Grizzly put Aiden Ross on. That's right, and Bronny James. It was T Grizzly and Bronny James. Out of Aiden Ross's own mouth and admission. Aiden Ross said he started streaming when he was 14. He said by the time he graduated, he had about 4,000. That's what he was at, about 4K. And then he said at that point, he was able to finagle a game against Bronny James. That's what took him, I think he said from 4,000 to like 5 or 6. He said he literally only gained like maybe 1,500 to 2,000 subs from doing the Bronny James. So that gave him a push from 4 to like 5 or 6. Then he started doing the RP with T Grizz. He said that took him past 10 to 20. Aiden Ross was like, I could not break 4K. And then he did the stream with Bronny James. That took him past 4K. Then he started doing RP with T Grizz in Grand Theft Auto. That took him past 10 to 20. T Grizzly put Aiden Ross on, 100%. 100%. T Grizz was already, he gonna beat T Grizz. T Grizz like Joe Budden, so he already has this thing. And Aiden Ross was able to jump on that and catapult that to him being where he's at today. Shout out T Grizz, man.
Crazy, man. I didn't know that.
It's not like Aiden Ross is some figment of everybody's imagination or some enigma that nobody can understand. No, it's not difficult to understand. They all can embarrass each other, and then they're using people who are bigger than them to put them on.
I was just saying, it is funny though, if that's kind of the trajectory for the streaming world, like how it kind of went full circle is what I'm saying. If the streamers went to the rappers to gain clout, now it's the opposite, where the rappers are going back to the streamers. You brought up Young Thug. Just a little interesting turn of events.
It is so interesting, and Jim Mother effing Jones. Woo! Bow, 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 bow. I feel like Yosemite Sam right now. Bow, 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 bow.